Hello again from Hong Kong, everybody. Today we have with us Julian, a good customer and a friend. Is that right, Julian?
Yeah, depending on the order of sequence and what I need to buy when. Mainly a friend.
Right, more a friend. So we're quite nice, actually. So Julian, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself to our viewers?
Sure. So yeah, I'm Julian, mid-30s, as you can see. Been in the consulting business for a little bit over 10 years. Came to Hong Kong in the early 2014, and I believe that's pretty quickly when we met.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. And so recently you moved from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And you're currently based in Munich, back in Germany.
Exactly.
So would you like to tell us a little bit more about why you moved and perhaps what you miss from Hong Kong?
Sure. So Hong Kong is a little bit like a bubble, like not only an economic bubble, but also nightlife and restaurants and dressing.
Yeah.
Munich is basically what I would consider a little bit like the German side of it.
Sure.
What I like about Munich, first thing when I came over there, Weißwurst, definitely for sure. Now, yeah, if you're asking what am I missing most about Hong Kong, it is probably the convenience of doing stuff.
Sure.
Now, on a Monday morning you dress up, go to the office, then Wednesday afternoon, Tuesday sometimes, on Thursday you have an after work beer.
Sure.
The weekends are nice, you can go hiking, great stuff about Hong Kong.
Sure.
And ultimately the convenience, which ultimately brought me here, even though I'm only 3 days in town, right?
There you are, exactly right. And obviously you've been coming to us for a while. And one thing that I always appreciate about you is you dress very well. You really represent what the young executive of today's business world, I think, should dress like. So
Go on.
Exactly. Just feeding your ego to make you happy.
So I think on the one side, there's always a thin border of what you can do in a business world and what you shouldn't do.
Correct.
So for example, too much of a pink shirt, so that you then look, that is very close to where you can go.
Okay.
Then you look too much like a little piggy.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the right thing.
Right.
I think dressing up well, especially in the business when I'm dealing with more senior people, executives, etc., not only gives you the perception, it's a little bit like the basics you learn in soft skill trainings. First move, tight hand, tight handshake, smile. Dressing well is one of those key components. And at the same time, it gives you confidence. You start the meeting, you pass by the bathroom, you dress up, you see that everything sits well. It gives you a good feeling to actually enter the stage.
Sure.
And then roll from there.
Absolutely. And it's also it's a very thin line sometimes, because especially when people work in a conservative industry like yours, consulting, you have to be careful not to offend, especially the big boys. Right? So,
well, it's not only offending the big boys, it's also, as you said, the thin line. So for example, you ask me, should we try this, etc.
Yes.
My first guess wouldn't have been to pick this out of a big drawer where I say, well, this one looks very cool. I'm not so sure about the fabric, I'm not so sure about the actual layout, but putting this all together looks really nice.
yes.
Probably wouldn't combine it with a tie, so this is where you start tuning things. But yeah, to your point, you want to create an image where you go somewhere and people think, well dressed. But what you don't want to create is like, alright, so he's dressing like that, me in my black suit and my red tie, that's the only creative thing I can do. So, and then basically creating negative feelings around that.
Yes, true. So, if I were to ask you the question, what are the key basic elements that every man should have in his wardrobe? What would you say?
Right, so I would have to get my GQ out now and
You could write them out and
start telling. I think the standard answer would probably be black suit. You might not go with a black suit first.
Sure.
Blue suit, grey suit. Definitely white shirt. You can always start with single cuffs.
Yes.
At some point you want to pass by double cuff.
Yes.
Even though I've seen executives, even in the bank,
Yes.
wearing Superman title cufflinks, that also probably wouldn't be the first one.
Yes.
So the basics would be dark, moving to light, 3-4 suits.
Yes.
Probably somewhere next to 10 shirts.
Sure.
You won't be able to change.
Absolutely.
4 or 5 basic whites, 2 blues, and then go and try a little bit with colors.
Stripes. And to your point about black suit, yeah, most people think that they should always have a black suit as their first suit, but I completely disagree. As you correctly said, in fact, I don't even have a black suit myself in this line of work. So
I do have 2, one with a bigger lapel and
no
another
need
one.
No black suit, right? Okay, we agree. Good.
Sure, no, you actually
Yeah,
can.
yeah,
If you only
yeah,
have
yeah.
one, if you only have one suit,
Yeah.
you might consider it when you're black, because if you may have to go to a funeral or to church,
Sure.
or somebody gets married and you
Sure.
want to look like everybody else there.
Exactly.
But generally, I would consider it number 2 or 3.
Yes, I agree, 100%. And speaking of details, like I know you always will think about your pocket square as an example, and you always think about it. But what other things do you think about when you dress up?
Yeah, I like combining things. I gotta be honest, I can't take all the credit, so you and your guys here have helped me a little bit figuring this out. So if you would go to an off-the-rack store, you wouldn't find a suit, let's say gray, with a
Sure, the buttonhole.
specific colored stitching around it, right?
Right.
But so you have a blue buttonhole, then you can combine it with maybe not a red shirt.
Sure.
If you're not going to work, yes, you can. So you combine things with colors, you combine things with layouts. For example, same thing here. I used to always have only, let me just show this here,
Yeah.
belt loops. Now I also have these, what do you call them again?
Clasps.
Clasps.
Yes.
So basically, I can wear whatever color shoe I have. I don't look for the matching belt.
Correct.
Which, by the way, is another color thing
Right.
you need to watch out.
Right.
I like to always wear a double cuffs
Mhm.
when it comes to work. In summer, it's nicer that you can like put them up. But even here
Yes.
in Hong Kong, I used to wear only double cuffs because I think it's some type of style as well.
Yes.
What other color stuff? Yeah, ties. I'm a big fan of matching patterns with
Good.
with the tie, with the shirt.
Yes.
But don't make it too noisy. So
Sure.
you don't want to look a little bit like a squirrel volcano with
There you go.
stripes and square ties and then
Keep it
band
simple.
check suits.
Absolutely, agree. So, and it's nice that this time you went for something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I know normally you do plains, very subtle checks. But this time you went for a bigger check.
Yeah.
So it was a bit bold, but I think the finished, image is very nice. It
Yeah,
works very
so
well.
quick stop over here. I thought I'll pass here, maybe get another one, because in Munich I don't have and see and know, not that many actually know tailors. So I thought once I'm back here, I'll just pass by.
Yes.
Had the idea, you got me convinced, to be honest. Gotta give you credit. Actually,
I never force.
no, you don't force,
No.
but you tease, right? So the second one there, same thing, right? Blend checks as a thought.
Yeah.
The first one looked good, and we got the second one going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got gray, I got blue, I got dark blue, I got
Yes.
black, I got a couple, and now I want to mix something.
Yeah.
And I think this is,
Yeah.
once
It's a
you
bit
saw
different,
this,
but,
right? When you saw this in the leaflet, it looked small, but if you're actually wearing it, I like it a lot.
Absolutely, I agree. So overall, I think you pulled it off very well. And
If you say, thank you.
Just telling the truth. But thank you very much for the time.
Definitely.
Being willing to spend a few minutes and share some of your thoughts on fashion. We appreciate that.
Sure, well, thank you for all your time.
As always, as always.
I'll come back whenever I need new suits and other stuff.
So thank you very much for viewing and tuning in. We hope you learned a few tips from Julian about fashion, and hopefully you'll have more of these videos to see in the future. Thank you very much.